you should be looking at fit and interest, right? So the target audience for your games or for any product is often the audience that's already consuming similar products and services, right? So in addition to size and viewership, you should be asking yourself, would your game be a good fit on that YouTuber's channel? Would their audience be interested in your game? If those answers are yes, then you can move on to what's the message that you need to put together, and how do you deliver that message? So once you identify a good mix of channels for your promotional message, then research shows that you need to get each message in front of your audience multiple times to ensure that it actually gets through, right? So fit and interest, is there a good fit? Then reach, that's where the size and the viewership of the channel come in, and so you definitely want to look within those top 4,000 that concentrate 99% of that viewership, and then ensure that it actually gets through, so with a significant amount of frequency. All right, so finally, we're ready. You've identified the channels that you want to work with, and next you need to come up with a business proposal. So I recommend starting by putting yourself in their shoes. So you guys, are all in the dev forum. I'm sure you see a lot of opportunities posted there. Think about what proposals and opportunities in the dev forum get your attention, and which ones don't. What differentiates those good business proposals from the ones that you kind of skim through and maybe don't even respond to? The good news is that because you share a platform, essentially you're all on Roblox, there's a natural affinity there that reduces risk for you and for them. And there's also lots of different mechanisms for value exchange between you, right? Because you don't need to say just cold hard cash. And this slide is by no means exhaustive. So, use your imagination. I hope to give you some general guidelines, but I'm sure that, you guys can come up with much more creative and imaginative things than I can for each of these categories. And once you get that going and you start having relationships with YouTubers, you should absolutely talk to them about what kinds of things will help them and would be interesting for them and that you could deliver as value, right? So having said that, with that disclaimer, let me talk a little bit about a few of the categories of incentives that could make sense. The first one is content, right? As we discussed, they we're talking 12 to 13 videos a month on average. That's a lot of content production. It's hard to come up with new, fresh ideas. It's hard to, what can you do to make that easier for them? What tools can you provide that will help them create better or more content based on your game? Think things like early access, unique codes and currency, admin commands, access to the cinematic camera, which is an amazing tool for capturing content, VIP servers, unlimited, unlimited items, even if they can't own them, at least use them, and so forth, right? Next, fan engagement. So we generated a lot of fun fan engagement with our Video Star Egg and pizza launchers in a few recent events. Can you come up with fun and new ways for YouTubers to interact with their fans inside your game? I'm sure you can. Several developers have even created a YouTuber or influencer role in their game group to which they attribute certain of these capabilities, and it's a great way to, it's kind of like their own little Video Stars program, which is a great idea and something I encourage you guys to do. Next up, promotion. So are there ways you can promote their content or products in your game? We saw how watching and playing and spending all fuel one another and all relate to one another. So it makes absolute sense for you guys to tighten that loop in your games and make it work better for everybody. In this example, I don't know if you guys can see, but what you have is the Royal High team promoting YouTuber star codes in their shop, in the shop of their game. So if people have to buy more Robux, they're going to use the star code. All right, so what to propose to whom of all this stuff? So you're making all these benefits, what do you give to whom? Well, basically the basic rule is the more cost to you, and by that I mean operational and unit cost, the narrower the distribution should be, right? So if something's low cost for you, you should. All right, so what to propose to whom of all this stuff? So you're making all these benefits, what do you give to whom? Well, basically the basic rule is video ad on that mix of channels that you selected. And that's going to give you the most control over your measurement and your affinity and your frequency and your reach and your message. But it's also going to be the most risky. So beyond that, there are other ways that you can do this. You can think, are there, because again, you share a platform, you maybe negotiate a good rate for a sponsored video. Like I said, you have audience affinity. There's a big delta between the CPM that the market charges for you to advertise and what they're seeing, and you can operate within that CPM in a way that benefits both of you. You pay less, and they earn more. You can think about ways of payment that facilitate. So these are people who may be willing to accept payment in Robux. Few service providers outside of Roblox may be willing to do that. Or you can think about a barter exchange. Lots of YouTubers are interested in making their own games. Maybe you can think of hey, I will help you make your game, you help me promote mine. So lots of ways to do this thing. I would encourage you to think about longer term partnerships. So ways where you can actually share your value, the value that. So this is a case, the developers of Robloxian High School recently partnered with one of the top role-play video creators on YouTube on a really cool short-term activation. So first of all, great fit, right? Role-play YouTuber, Robloxian High School. Second, great reach. She has 4 million subscribers. Her videos routinely get 1 million views. By giving that YouTuber a rev share on item sales over a couple of weeks, they created an incentive for her to share a fun and positive message about their game. So she was making an authentic message for her audience on their behalf. Multiple times, obviously, huge audience. So frequency we talked about, and reach. And this free branded item they created for her created additional fan engagement incentive for her and her fans, and also may have served as a mechanism for them to measure how much value they generated. So when you've come up with a solid value proposition for your target YouTubers, get in touch with them, email, Twitter. If you have a good offer, they will listen, they will reply. Only a small number really will overlook something like that. Introduce yourself, sell yourself, tell them who you are, what you've done. Make your pitch and be ready to negotiate. And depending on what you negotiate, put it in writing. That's good for everybody. And if it's a large enough value, you might want to even consider a lawyer. So I want to leave you with 2 thoughts. First, I hope I've been able to show you that partnering with Roblox YouTubers is a great opportunity, something you absolutely can and should do. And secondly, I hope you're also walking away realizing that you have a lot more in common than you think. So I look forward to seeing both communities do amazing things in the coming year, hopefully together. Thank you very much, and I think we have some time for questions. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we're actually out of time for questions, but I will be right outside or in the room, so feel free to come up and hang out, and I'll be here till the game jam. I can really go longer. Was that good?